the movie opens up in 1984. And I do believe that was the working title for Boyz n the Hood, or the original title that John Singleton came up with was actually Summer of 1984. But then this movie ended up being called Boyz n the Hood, but it was originally called Summer of 1984. And that is when the movie starts. 1984. Trey Styles and his buddies, Doughboy, Lil Chris, they decide to go check out a deceased body.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
And that's such a powerful opening scene. Because you know what? That type of stuff happens in the hood all the time. Kids in the hood see things way before they should see. You should never see a deceased body as it is, right? Unfortunately, no, at least as a kid. But in the hood, these are the things that happen. And that's why as people grow up who live in that environment, they become numb to certain things. I mean, you're seeing a body at what, 10 years old? So, let's see. Trey gets in trouble. They have the whole African booty scratcher. I ain't from Africa. I'm from Crenshaw Mafia.
Like it or not, you from Africa.
And they did name a couple of gangs in this movie, but none of the main characters were associated with the gangs. I mean, they mentioned what, Roland? You must be one of them Roland 60 mother. All right, that's later on down the movie. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself, but I ain't from Afro. I'm from Crenshaw Mafia. What do you say? You like it or not, you from Africa. And he said, I get my brother to beat you up. I get my daddy. Yo, daddy punk. At least I got one mother. See, I'm telling you guys, I know this movie like the back of my hand. So anyway, Trey Styles gets in trouble at school. He's walking down he gets kicked out. He's walking down the street. There's some dudes playing dice. They end up, fighting in front of him. And he's just trying to make his way home as his mother, Angela Bassett, who is one of the finest females on the planet. I love me some Angela Bassett, man. Angela can get it. But she's on the phone with the teacher or the principal or whatever, going back and forth. Trey has his last chance at getting in trouble, so he is sent to live with his daddy in South Central Los Angeles.
Trey is going to live with his father.
His father?
Yes, his father. Or did you think we made babies by ourselves?
And then we see his friends Doughboy, Lil Chris, right? And they get into kid trouble. They eventually, Lil Chris and Doughboy get arrested for stealing, right? And Lil Chris and Doughboy, they don't have father figures. Trey in this movie is the only one who has a father figure. Think about that for a second. That's really sad because that was a turning point. 80s, 90s, when fathers weren't around as much as they used to be. Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, most kids had a father. Most black kids had a father in their home, even the ones that lived in the hood. Most kids had a father in the home. Fast forward to 1984, 1986, 1988, 1991, 1992 when this movie was 1991 when the movie was released. Most black kids didn't have a father in the home. And that was portrayed so well in this movie. Because Lawrence Fishburne played a great father figure.
Trey, you may think I'm being hard on you right now, but I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm trying to teach you how to be responsible. It's like your little friends across the street, they don't have anybody to show them how to do that. They don't. You're going to see how they end up, too.
Lawrence Fishburne, I was like watching that, like, damn, I wish Lawrence Fishburne was my dad. You know, back then, because, you know, Pops wasn't around that time of my life. Whammy, blah, blah, blah. But yes, I was looking at Furious Styles like, man, that's a good father figure. So even as an 13 years old, I understood that. I understood where they were going with the movie. But Lil Chris, Doughboy, they end up, like I said, getting arrested. And then the movie fast forwards to a party. And this is a party because Doughboy, who is played by Ice Cube now, older, just got out the pen. 3 hots and a cot. And they're playing dominoes around the table. And we get introduced to Dooky, who was sucking on a pacifier. And looking back now, 2024, you might think like, what the hell? That's so weird. That's so weird. But there was a very small time between 91 during the rave era, during the Hauser era, where people walked around with pacifiers. I know it sounds weird, and it was a very short fad. So if you don't know, you don't know. But it was a very short fad where people walked around with pacifiers. I had one. It was a pacifier wrapped around your neck and you would suck on it. Like it was the weirdest fad ever. Look, dude, we talk shit about the fads that these kids have today, man. We had some dumb fads too in the 90s and 80s and 90s. So I can't even hate on what you kids do today with your weird dresses and whatever you guys paint your nails. I can't even trip on that because we were doing weird stuff back then, sucking on pacifiers. Dooky was sucking on a pacifier. And first of all, the name Dooky? Nah, homie. Dooky? No. If I'm in a gang or if I'm part of a set or a hood and the day comes where they're like, all right, dog, we're going to name you. What should we name him? What should we name him? Name him Dooky.
Hell no.
Nah, homie, nope. Catching that fade. I got to catch a fade. You can't call him. Nah, I'm not. There's like Dooky means Dooky, right? Dookie doesn't mean anything else other than what it is. It's shit. Right? That's what Dookie means. So, nah, homie. Nah, you ain't naming me Dookie. I'm catching that fade or you got to put me off the set. I'm not walking around being called Dookie. Girls be like, why is his name Dookie? Because he smelled like Dookie. Shut up, nigga. Nah, I'm not arguing. I'm not explaining my name. None of that, dog.
We should point out that most theaters around the country will be showing the film as scheduled tomorrow. They are not anticipating any problems. They say they're not adding any extra security. But this theater here, well, obviously they were a little bit worried. And once again, they have pulled the film indefinitely. Reporting live from Westwood, I'm Stan Wilson. Back to you.